Choke, no joke. Chicky choke, no joke. Choke, no joke. Chicky choke, no joke. You know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Choke, no joke. I'm in the building. Happy Mother's Day to ya. Happy Mother's Day to ya. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to ya. Happy Mother's Day to ya. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to ya. Happy Mother's Day to ya. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to ya. Happy Mother's Day to ya. Happy Mother's Day. Joke, no joke. I'm in the building, baby. You know how we do, baby. East Coast, West Coast, South Africa, Africa, North Africa, West Africa, Germany, Ireland, Switzerland, Sweden. Happy Mother's Day to women, BK, New York, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Harlem, Long Island, Buffalo, New York. Happy Mother's Day. West Coast, California, Seattle, Washington, everywhere. All right. Shout out to my mother, my mother's mother, mother's mother. Happy Mother's Day, mama. Happy Mother's Day to my kids' mothers. Happy Mother's Day to the kids. Happy Mother's Day to the kids' kids. uh, Shout out to everybody out there right now that's, may have lost their mom and are really going through it. Our prayers go out to y'all. Some of y'all that lost y'all big mama, your grandmama. And, this day is a reminder and it's very hard to deal with. My prayers and my heart go out to you. Um, Especially y'all that lost your mother, you know, that's something I don't ever wanna have to deal with, but it's a reality that we all must deal with unless, the kids, go before the parents. But it's another Mother's Day, man. You know, so like I said, uh much love to all those out there that lost their parent, lost their mother and their grandmother. And yeah, this day right here is a horrible reminder. Um, my prayers go out to y'all. If you didn't call your mother today because you mad at her because she didn't give you no money or she didn't sign a lease or co-sign for something, whatever it is, just remember you wouldn't even be on this earth today if it wasn't for your mama. So call your mama, suck it up, stop being mad. You know what I'm saying? And show love. And shout out to all the mothers that lost a child. I know that this day is probably just as rough, as not rougher, for those who lost their parent. To the parents that lost a kid, and Mother's Day is a constant reminder that you are a mother, and this is painful for you. Our prayers go out to y'all as well. Yeah, but Instagram, I'm live on YouTube. YouTube, I'm live on Instagram. We got a good show tonight. We got a few things to touch on. Like 50 Cent. How many times have y'all seen me warn 50 Cent? Right? Certain people just don't listen, man. I warned this dude 50 Cent over and over and over and over again. Right? Shout out to St. Kitts and Nevins. You know what I mean? As you can see, representing y'all the West Indies. You know, got love for everybody international, worldwide. You know how I do. Shout out to everybody over in Antigua. You know what I'm saying? Turks and Caicos, Grand Turks. You know, shout out to all y'all. Puerto Rico, what up? Bahamas, what up? Nassau, Bimini, what up? Much love to all y'all. Choke no joke, we in the building. We about to get the show started. 50, I warned you. 50, I warned you. All right? This is gonna be my last warning to you, 50. So you know, 50, you might want to send this. And Yayo, I told you, you just don't listen. Nobody can tell you nothing, Yayo, except 50 Cent. And that's because he keep the lights on. But we're gonna get into to it tonight. And that Compton pig, oh, we got you. We got you. And y'all need to stop saying East Coast, West Coast war and all this other stuff. And y'all really need to stop saying that, you know, Biggie got killed in retaliation for Pac because Biggie did not kill Tupac. All right? Compton killed Tupac. Choke no joke, you already know. Let's get to the show. We here now. You know what it is.
On the drums.
Many have said it. Let's go out to the East Coast, West Coast. Put it up. No palm to the trees and the palms of dealers and fiends. Late night roam the streets. Weed is weaker, but it's cheaper. Not many chicks frontin' like divas. Out west, every chick's a model like Eva, and you know I'm far from believing her. So I'm G'ing her like she G'ing me. Banging in LA is a different thing. At the end, you either dead on the bang, getting out, doing better things. On Sunset, where they hang. Hollywood, where they hustle for change. Times Square here, it's the same. No matter where you go, you'll find a lane. On the west, they kick it with Kane. On the east, trees the social thing. East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your glasses, take a toast. If you rap, East Coast. When I'm on the west and I'm doing my thing, don't offer me coke or your nose I bang. Friends don't offer other deadly things. Thanks for the hospitality, we'll still hang. I won't judge you, leave me as I came. On the road to success, top of the game. Eat all the finer things in the food chain. Teach my kids to do the same. Whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your glasses, take a toast. If you rap, East Coast. Gotta love life, they offer wonderful things. Being to travel is a privileged thing. Came back to the East, air wasn't fresh. Streets filled with trash, various people in the eye. It's easy to tell who's upper middle class. Police and racism, same as crash. Back to where they not social, where they less vocal. When they don't know you, be careful, show you around the East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap, East Coast, whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Pop your bottles and toss the cork. If you rap,
West Coast. Both coasts are known to give you fame. Got paparazzis playing cameras your way. Got you bobbing and weaving like Cassius Clay. Most thugs turn Muslim in older days. Change their name to Allah they pray. Probably till they decay. This go out to the east and
Choke,
west.
no
For
joke.
big and
Chiggy choke, no
trees and
joke.
trees in the
Chiggy choke, no joke. We back. We live. You already know. Had to go run and get me some agua real quick. Thank you for being patient. What up, fella? All you suckers in the comments hating, keep hating. Because I'm going to keep creating. And it ain't nothing for me to block you. Bye. Take your insecurities, your jealousy. Don't be mad at me. Because I choose to pursue whatever I choose to pursue. And I do what I do it for me. I don't do it for you, I do it for me. And if you don't like it, beat it. What are you doing here? Shout out to Gwinnett County in the building. I see you. Lawrenceville, what up? What up? Snellville, what up? What up? Shout out to Loganville. All right. Shout out to East Point. You know what it is. Gator, where's greater? What up? Joke, no joke. So I'm in the building, right? And we got some things to talk about today. We got some good things to talk about today. Now, two things I want to talk about today. Uh, and once again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You know, prayers up to all the mothers that lost a child. Prayers up to all the children that lost a mother. All right. Respect your elders. Honor thy mother and thy father. All right. Cool. You know what it is? So where do I begin? Right? Well, I want to get into 50 Cent, but that's going to take a little while to explain. So I'm gonna get into this Compton thing first, and then I'm gonna get into this 50 Cent thing because I keep warning 50, right? But you could, the saying, you could lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. Well, that's how I feel like um with 50 Cent, right? And it's not that 50 controls the people around him because at the end of the day, you do what you want. But 50 is highly influential with the people in his circle. And if you don't follow his rules, you'll be gone. Right? So when I send these kites out to 50, it ain't hate. You know what I'm saying? It ain't me 50 paying me off like some of y'all be saying. Choke on 50 cent payroll. If I was on 50 cent payroll, you would know about it. I'll be running around here calling myself Land Jet Choke like your man Lenny. Like Uncle Murder. You would know. Niggas brag when they on 50 payroll. Niggas run around talking about smoke duck and the Swiss Alps. Like when you on 50 cent payroll, niggas know. Cause you would be getting topped off lovely if you was 50. If you was on 50 payroll, niggas bow down. Niggas throw roses at 50 feet when you on his payroll. Right? So I'm gonna get to the 50 thing in a second, but first I want to talk about this Compton pig, Rodent Rat Jr., right? Now, this is going to be an interesting year, y'all. Trust me. And I'm praying that this trial don't get pushed back any further because the snowball effect is growing and is growing and is growing and is growing and it's about to be an avalanche in this Tupac case and parallel at the same time, excuse me, 50 Cent, I see a snowball going down the hill right now, turning into a boulder, which is going to be an avalanche on him by the end of the year. And then I'll get into that in a second. But this Tupac case, right? There's a cop named Brent Becker that was the one of the detectives from Las Vegas Metro Police Department that was working on the Tupac case, right? This is the cop that uh Reggie Wright Jr. and Reggie Wright Sr. um always allegedly uh they always say that, you know, these officers didn't want to speak to them to the rights when they heard their name. Um when they tried to give information to Las Vegas, you know, this is the cop, this is the detective that did the interviews with Yaki Gaddafi, um, Edie Amin, uh, the girls, you know, and the people that did gave statements. He is one of the main officers in the on that homicide case for Tupac that Reggie Wright Jr. keep trying to insist that he's a racist, right? And that, you know, they didn't want to take no information from them because they was racist allegedly. And um you got Reggie's father saying that he called up there to speak to them, the detectives in Las Vegas, but they didn't want to speak to him because when he said Reggie Wright, they thought he meant Reggie Wright Jr. and they didn't want to have nothing to do with him because Reggie was a part of Death Row, this, that, and the third, right? Now they've been running with this narrative for decades now, right? So I think that for a minute they thought that Brent Becker was deceased because all the allegations that they were making against him. You know how Reggie is. First of all, everybody that's not here no more, you know, just like Gene Dale, like all the people that's not here no more, they use them as a reference because those people can't correct their lies or correct their stories. You know, like Reggie always talk about how, oh well, Frank said this, and Frank wrote in his book, and yeah, and Michael Moore, and all the guys that's not here no more. Like he can make uh, a point of reference, but these are the people that you can't call and talk to or get a statement from because they're not around no more. Now, Reggie, not knowing that Brent Becker was still alive, in my opinion, said a lot of stuff. And then there's a female by the name of Lena. Shout out to Lena. She's doing an interview with Brent Becker right now. And she's been asking him about the stuff that Pork Butt been saying about him being a racist and him not and his team not wanting to take uh Reggie Rice Sr.'s phone call or they didn't want to get any information from them Woo, 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 dee, woo, 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 woo. Well, Lena has been talking to Brent, and he's been very, very vocal. Doesn't sound racist to me at any point. And if he was racist, why the hell is he dealing with Lena, who's a black woman, not a high yellow uh woman, that could be taken as a Caucasian, and he don't know she's black. This woman is just as dark as I am. So if he was racist, I don't think that he would be doing all these interviews with her, and she's not compensating him. And he's been very vocal about the Tupac case. And he's not even a dirty cop like Greg Caden, who steals files and takes them home and things like that. But hopefully, and I'm quite sure that detective or former detective, because he's retired now, Brent will be subpoenaed in this trial, and all them statements that Reggie and them was saying, they're gonna have to face him in court as well, right? So here's the thing: on September 7th is when Tupac got shot, right? So I hope like most of y'all are up on this Tupac thing because it is way too much to go all the way back to bring it back up. So if you're not too privy to everything that I'm saying, then you might have to go back and watch a couple of videos. But for those who know what time it is, I could just give bullet points and y'all be able to follow, right? So Reggie's father said that within the hour of Tupac being shot, Reggie Wright Jr. called Senior and told him that Tupac and Suge had been shot by Orlando Anderson. Reggie Wright Sr. says he called Las Vegas Metro Police Department. Um, I don't know who he said he called, whether he called the tip line, the hotline, the detective line, the homicide line, the attempted murder line. I don't know what line he called, but he makes it clear that he reached out to Las Vegas Metro Police Department, senior that is, and wanted to give them information on the shooting that happened in Las Vegas. And he allegedly claims that he was in Compton at the time, not at the MGM, but there's video at the MGM that people speculates that Reggie and his father, along with other Compton PD officers, allegedly were in the MGM Grand when that fight took place and was standing around watching and, allegedly, as people choose to believe. You know what I mean? Um, so Reggie's father said he called Vegas and they told him they didn't want to speak to him because there was a Reggie Wright Jr. at the scene, and like it was some type of conflict of interest for them to be reaching out to Vegas, right? Which is odd because everybody is still in Vegas, and Reggie's father supposedly allegedly be calling from Compton, calling saying that his son gave him intel that Orlando Anderson had just shot Tupac. Now, how does Reggie Wright Jr. know Orlando Anderson is the one that did it when everybody that's there uh, is nobody saying Orlando Anderson did it, or there would have been a warrant out for him, right? Or at least his face in a six pack if they told him that same night, right? Well, here's the interesting thing. Brent said that he never ever heard about a Reggie Wright Jr. or Sr. the day of the shooting. Let me rewind that. Brent said that he never heard of the name Reggie Wright Jr. or Reggie Wright, period, the day of the shooting, right? And to make it crystal clear, he told Lena that he never heard of Reggie Wright, until 3 days after the shooting. And you want to know how he heard of Reggie Wright's name 3 days after the shooting? Reggie came to Las Vegas Metro Police Department with uh, George Calises, David Kenner, another lawyer, and Suge Knight. Now, what Brent said is he didn't understand why Suge had to come with 3 lawyers if he was a victim. He stated that he has never seen a witness, a suspect, ever show up with a lawyer. So he said that he figured when he seen Suge show up with these 3 lawyers and Reggie Wright Jr., that he felt like they had something to do with Tupac's murder, because what do he need all these lawyers for if he was a victim? And why did it take him 3 days to show up if he was a victim? But that is the first time he heard of Reggie Wright Jr. Now, Reggie said that he brought Edie and he brought Yaki and all of them to do their statement. But Brent said Reggie wasn't in the room when they interrogated them and got their statements. So when they first gave their statements the first days, he said he never even met Reggie. And the first time he ever heard Reggie's name is when he showed up with Suge. Now, here's the number one question, right? And this is something for y'all to think about. If Death Row didn't have anything to do with Tupac's killing, why is there so many inconsistencies in Reggie Wright Jr.'s story? If Death Row had nothing to do with Tupac's murder, why is there so many inconsistencies in the story? Why did they lie about the chains, the chain story? Why did Reggie tell Frank to lie about anything? Tupac, he told Frank to lie about the chain story because he didn't want Tupac to get violated. Tupac never got arrested to get violated. Nobody would have knew about the Vegas fight. No POs would have knew about the Vegas fight because nobody was ever charged with assault and battery. Orlando never pressed charges against Tupac or Suge or Death Row or anybody. Nobody would have never knew about that fight. So what is the purpose of telling Frank to lie about a chain story when Pac didn't even get arrested? Why would he tell him to lie about that chain story before the fight even happened? Why is Biggie even dead? If Tupac got killed because he jumped on Orlando, Biggie wasn't there. Biggie ain't from Southside Crip. Did he hang around them? Yeah. Okay. So if Orlando is the one who allegedly killed Tupac and everybody at Death Row knew it, why nothing ever happened to Orlando? Why nothing ever happened to Keefe D? Why did Death Row continue to do business with Keefe D in Orlando? Keefe D in his interview, uh, either with Vlad or Cam Capone, stated that he seen Suge Knight in a minimum of 3 times since Tupac got killed. And it wasn't no problem with them. Everything was good. That's his words. And we heard Suge tell a story about when he ran into Keefe D at the Laker game. And then Keefe D talks about 2 other times that he ran into Suge after Tupac was dead, gone, buried. 3 different occasions. And he said, yo, me and Suge was good. Now, why would him and Suge be good? Why would Keefe D state? And here's the thing that killed me with y'all about Keefe D. Y'all all want to believe him telling the story about he took the gun and passed it to Dre, and Dre's like, oh no, I'm scared. And Orlando took the gun and shot. Y'all want to believe all that. But y'all don't want to believe none of the other stuff that he say. Right? Like y'all believe him when he talk about the shooting, right? But he said that he saw Suge 3 times after that, and it was all love. Why would it be all love with the niggas that shot him in the head and killed Tupac? Now, some of these videos I wish I could play, but you know, some of these dudes, you know, that I don't rock with, I just don't like playing their videos, even though I could use it under fair use. But it's crystal clear, right? That Keefe D stated that he seen Suge on 3 different occasions after Tupac was killed, and they didn't have no beef. So if they didn't have no beef, and Reggie was still working with Keefe D up until he just got arrested, booking him interviews for him, talking on the phone with him. It ain't no telling what other business they were doing, right? And then he sit there and tell me, oh yeah, I set Keefe D up, I brought him out, this, that, and other. You brought him out 30 years later. Now, here's the other thing. Reggie's father said that he called Las Vegas Metro Police Department the same night and told them that Orlando Anderson did it, right? Because Reggie Wright Jr. called him and told him within the hour of the shooting, right? Brent Becker said the first time he heard Orlando Anderson name in the Southside Crips is when Tim Brennan, Blondie, came to Vegas and identified Orlando in the video. They didn't know who Orlando Anderson was. They didn't get from Reggie's father Orlando Anderson name. They got Orlando Anderson name when Compton went to Vegas to look at the surveillance video. And Tim Brennan, Blondie, and is the one that told Brent Beck and them, that's Orlando Anderson. They knew who he was. They the ones that told Vegas, that's him. So who did Reggie Favre speak to when he called in and said they didn't want to deal with him because of he said Reggie right and they didn't want to have nothing to do with him and Vegas didn't want to solve no crowd because it was a family place. Brenton Becker is saying all that is cap. And he said the biggest cap is that he's a racist. Like, where they getting that he's a racist from? And that they didn't want to speak to them because Reggie Wright Jr. was affiliated with Suge Knight. He says none of that is true. So why do they keep bringing up these stories and putting these blame on Vegas that allegedly are not true? Now, here's my thing. Why wouldn't they want to hear from Reggie Wright Jr. or Sr., right? When they were the victims. If Suge's team was under Reggie's security company and they were the victims that got shot up, why wouldn't Las Vegas Metro Police Department wouldn't want to hear from them? So you tell me they don't want to hear from the witnesses that was there? They don't want to hear from the victims to tell them what happened? So now, once again, we know Reggie is lying about being turned away by the Las Vegas Metro Police Department because Brent Becker said there is no truth to that. Instagram, I'm live on YouTube. All right. Now, here's the other thing. The Rays in Compton, right? We got played again. We got hoodwinked again by Roden Rat Jr. and his daddy. They played us again. What do I mean by they played us again? Check this out. Remember, they told us about that story, the raid, after the war in Compton, right? After the war in Compton, woo, 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 right? Now, the raids in Compton after the Tupac shooting weren't even for the Tupac shooting. They giving us the impression that Las Vegas ran up in there and Dean, what up? Deacon, what up? Deacon Weezo, what up? Who did it? Crooked ass cops, in my opinion, allegedly. So they told us that, remember, Reggie called his pops, and Reggie pops called Brennan and Ladd and all the other police. So the war's coming back to Compton. Reggie just called me and told me Southside shot Tupac and Suge, right? Yo, the war's coming back to Compton. They incited a war, in my opinion, because who the hell knew that they did it? Who the hell knew Orlando did it but Reggie to call his pops and tell him, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say that the Compton dudes or the Death Row dudes didn't know that it was Orlando and them, and they probably told Reggie this, that, and the third, this, that. Who knows? It's possible, right? But if the Compton dudes, the Death Row dudes now knew that it was Orlando and Keefe D in them, why the hell was everybody from Death Row still cool with Keefe D and Orlando over the years, and nothing never happened to Keefe D or Orlando by the hands of Death Row, right? And they go and give these dudes 60 bands to go and testify for Suge, right? So a nigga shoot you in the head and you gonna give him some money to come and testify on your behalf and hope that he do the right thing, right? Well, here's the thing. The Compton raids that happened after Tupac shooting wasn't Las Vegas running up in Compton looking for Orlando. The Compton warrant became uh, the Las Vegas warrant, which is factually incorrect and not true. That Compton warrant was never a Vegas warrant. That Compton warrant was the Compton police had that warrant, and they ran the warrant saying that they was investigating Orlando for 2 other homicides before the Tupac shooting even happened. The raids were warrants allegedly for 2 other murders that Orlando was accused of, right? And Compton notified Las Vegas Metro Police Department and asked them if they wanted to do a ride along and be a part of the investigation because they, Compton, was saying that Orlando did that to Tupac in Las Vegas. And they was doing their own investigation. So they reached out to Las Vegas and said, yo, we give, the guy that we told y'all that did it, we getting ready to investigate. We getting ready to run up in there. We got him for 2 other homicides that we investigate. We got a warrant. We getting ready to go run up in there. Yo, y'all want to come join us? And made it look like Vegas had a warrant and they ran through Compton and ran through everything because that was Vegas warrant looking for Orlando for Tupac. No, that was Compton PD, goddamn it, own warrant, and they was going looking for stuff. And who's to know if they wasn't trying to plant stuff on Orlando on them, right? And then think about it. Compton got the warrant and they running up in Suge's mother house where Neckbone was at. Suge and them is over in the Bahamas with Reggie and them while these raids are going on. And they describing the raids as they looking for Orlando for the Tupac shooting. They looking for stuff when in all reality, Compton called that filed that warrant and ran up and ran through Compton like that. Which once again, why is Compton involved in a Las Vegas homicide or shooting at that time? Because Tupac wasn't even dead yet. Now, you could clearly see that Compton PD got a hard on for Orlando on them, right? And allegedly, to me, they try to frame him because right after they raid, they are sitting in the meeting with Orlando Anderson and Keefe D giving them money to help Suge Knight get out of trouble. Now, there's a few other inconsistencies in this story, right? You got Neckbone who say that after the shooting, Suge and them chased the white Cadillac. according to Brent Becker, the report is after the shooting, Suge and them made that U-turn and went up to Las Vegas Boulevard when the hospital was straight ahead. If he would have just kept going straight a few more blocks or miles, they would have ran straight into the hospital. Suge made a U-turn, went the opposite way away from the hospital. And once again, if Reggie called his father within the hour and told him that it was Orlando Anderson, and Reggie's father called Las Vegas Metro Police Department and told them it was Orlando Anderson, why in the hell was Reggie Wright Reggie Wright Sr., Edie Falls, at Edie Falls' office with Keithy D in Orlando, giving them money? Now, Reggie is, of course, trying to defend his father and say that, oh, it wasn't his father that was there that paid him the money. It was him. I would play it, the video, but I'm not because it's on Vlad's. If it was all the dialogue or somebody cool, I would play it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop this link for y'all. Just so y'all know that I'm not lying, right? That link I just dropped for y'all, right? Will take you to a video with Keithy D doing the interview, right? Talking about when they got paid from Death Row to go and testify on Suge's behalf when Orlando got the money. That link that I just gave y'all, when this show is over, you get a chance, go and look at it, right? And it says Keevy D on Who Killed Biggie, right? In that video. And he says, Keevy D says, is the LAPD officer who worked for Right Way Security, right? But let me not jump over to Biggie real quick. Let me stay right here with Tupac, right? And Neckbone's interview, right? The way the Reggie and them been telling the story, you would have thought that Neckbone and Buntree was in the car together, right? But when Neckbone tells the story, he says he couldn't get his gun out the stash spot, right? And then the way he's talking, it definitely don't sound like Buntree was in the car with Neckbone. But according, if you listen to Reggie and them, they make it allegedly sound like Neckbone and Buntree was in the car together and they jumped out and did the shooting. According to Neckbone, he couldn't get his gun out quick enough. And according to him, allegedly, it may have been Neckbone and them that was, I mean, not Neckbone, Buntree, who allegedly probably shot at the white Cadillac. But then you got Neckbone saying that because they were saying that the Toyota, the black Toyota Supra that was Buntree or Buntree was driving, had bullet holes in it. Neckbone says the bullet holes could have been in there in that car. He could have been had bullet holes in his car. I guess because of his lifestyle. But the interesting thing is this. Listening to Brent Becker's report, there are no other shell cases that they found outside of the 40 caliber, which was, you know, over maybe 13, 14 shots. And some of those bullets even went into the garage where the cops was at over at the Maxim. So if Buntree and them jumped out and was shooting, I don't know, because they said that according to Brent, the crime scene where the shooting took place wasn't cut off until probably about an hour later. Like they didn't block off the scene, they letting cars drive through and all that other stuff. But however, all the shell cases were the same from a 40 caliber gun. There were no additional shell casings picked up from that particular area. Now, I'm not saying that Buntry didn't shoot at the Cadillac. I ain't saying that the Cadillac didn't shoot back at Buntry. But as far as I remember the girls' statement, and one of them said that when they made the right, the Cadillac made the right, almost hit them. But they remember one of the girls said she remembered the passenger shooting back at the Toyota Supra with his left hand outside the passenger window. But however, according to Brent Becker, they didn't find any additional cases, right? Nor did the cops that was on at the Maxim on the parking deck uh, report the second shootout to Brent Becker. But then again, he don't have the case files in front of him, so he would have to see them. But he did say that he don't remember the girls saying anything about a second shooting, but I do remember the girls saying something about a second shooting because uh it's actually in the statement. And like I said, Brent Becker ain't got he's not a dirty cop like Gray Caden who steals the files and takes them home, allegedly, which cops don't supposed to do, but he did, right? But once again, in that link that I seen, y'all, right? That I just posted, Keefe D states two of the obvious things. When Orlando Anderson got paid, he says this on Vlad, right? That Reggie Wright Sr., and he says it clear, Reggie Wright Sr., not Junior, Sr., was in the office when Orlando called me and told me, yo, cuz, bring a ratchet, come up here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to meet up with Reggie and them or whatever. And he said he went up there and he states it. It was me, meaning Keefe D, Orlando Anderson, Edie Falls, David Kenner, Reggie Rice Sr., and Officer Reynolds. And he states he claimed it was Reggie Sr. It was not Junior. He says that. Clears it up. So once again, my question to you all, right? If Death Row knew that Orlando Anderson is the one that shot Suge and Tupac, why would Reggie and his father and Reynolds, Edie Falls, and these guys sit up there and give a murderer $60,000? Can anybody answer that question? If Reggie father is on the internet right now and you can hear him say, Reggie Jr. called me and told me that Orlando Anderson just shot Tupac and Suge. And then within 3 months later, they are giving him $60,000. And you got that statement from Keefe D. Y'all pick and choose what y'all want to believe from Keefe D. That's the crazy thing about, you know, this whole Tupac thing. Y'all can say, oh, Keefe D got up there, he bragged about killing Tupac, he deserved to go to jail. But when he tell you that Reggie was the one of allegedly that got Tupac killed, y'all don't want to listen to it. If he telling y'all that Reggie wasn't there when they got the money, the payout from Death Row for Orlando to go and testify in Suge's behalf, y'all don't want to believe him. But y'all believe everything else he said because he got on the internet, he did an interview, he told on himself. So if he told on himself and he telling y'all all this other stuff, how do you not believe it? All you got to do is ask yourself this. If Tupac was your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, and you knew the dude that shot him was Orlando Anderson, allegedly, right? And the people that ran with Tupac, Death Row, if you found out they paid the guy that shot Tupac $60,000 after they knew that he was the one that did it, and Tupac died, and you was Tupac's family, and you knew that the guy that killed him, the record label gave this nigga $60,000 right after the shooting. And then you go to see that they are still friends and doing business and corresponding with the people that killed him. You're not going to be sitting there wondering if they all were in it together? Because me, I can't sit on the stand and on a violation with a hole in my head if I really got shot in the head and look at the nigga on the stand that shot me and hope that he says the right thing. And I'm giving this nigga 60,000 up front to come testify for. He could get up there and throw me under the bus. And I'm going to be sitting up there in court like this, looking at the nigga that shot me and killed my little brother Tupac. And I'm not going to be having no flashbacks. I'm not going to be having no traumatic experience going on my head. I'm just gonna be sitting there at the goddamn desk like this, looking at the nigga, and you tell me the shots ain't ringing off in my head. I don't hear the plop, pop jumping all over the place. Nothing. I could just sit there and look at the nigga that did this to me, and I gave him money to come and testify for me. That makes sense to y'all? Come on, man. Would you even allow the nigga that killed anybody in your family to come to your funeral, to go to the funeral, let alone go sit in a court of law on the stand and sit there dead in front of you and sit there and testify and lie and say, nah, hey man, he was trying to help me, knowing that these niggas just stomped you out? Nah, man, Suge was trying to help me, man. Niggas say they on the stand like, hey, Suge, I got you. Okay. So I'm hoping to get this interview with Brent Becker, because I got a bunch of great questions for him. And I got, you know, some details that Lena left out. Like she couldn't remember certain things, but she did a great job. Don't get me wrong. She did a great job even getting dumbass pork butt to incriminate himself even more. And the more Reggie keeps doing these interviews and he's telling lies, when he get on that stand, they going to eat him up. Oh, they're gonna eat him up. His lies, oh boy. None of like, oh boy, I just can't wait. But I'll get back to the Tupac thing in a few days. Let's get to 50 Cent, right? And Tony Yayo, right? And one thing before I get into that, right? Shout out to my man bxearl.com. Y'all go check that out, bxearl.com. If y'all got products and y'all need to, sell some products, go to bxearl.com, hit them up, you know, give them some of your products on consignment. You know what I mean? Just make sure you do good business, you know, get a lawyer, do a contract. But if you independent, hit up bxearl.com and ask them about how you could create your own store and sell products, because most of us, we going back to straight to consumer, direct to consumer, all the streaming stuff, they just robbing us, giving us pennies on the penny, not even pennies on the dollar, pennies on the penny. You know what I'm saying? So bxearl.com definitely, showing people how to create their own online stores and doing direct to consumer. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Preacher Earl. So um one more thing before I get into Tony and 50 Cent. Did y'all notice Beyonce at the Met Gala? How many of y'all saw Beyonce at the Met Gala? I just wanted to show y'all something real quick, and then I'm gonna get into this 50 Cent thing. Because I'm gonna show you what's about to happen. Beyonce looking a little chubby. So this is what we getting ready to see, y'all. As you can see, we getting ready to go into Act 3 with Beyonce, right? What are we looking at here? Rock and roll, as you can see. It's really supposed to be like bones. These are supposed to be bones. She's supposed to be like a skeleton dress. If you look at her hands, you can see like the skull, like the skeleton hands. So that's what we getting ready to go into, y'all. Beyonce out here working on that rock album, you know, and as you know, rock and roll is centered around allegedly Satanism. So what's going to happen is you see how all these black women just ran and threw on cowboy outfits, ain't questioned nothing just because Beyonce said cowboy, right? Cowgirl, whatever. You know what I'm saying? She said cowboy Carter. She wasn't even a cowgirl. So that was uh the alphabet gang undertone in that whole thing, right? But yeah, like you said, skull and bones, right? So what we about to see is Beyonce just came out. This is the rollout, in my opinion, allegedly, for Act 3, which is the rock and roll album. Act 2 was the Cowboy Carter, right? So, and the one before that was the R&B one. So now what we getting ready to get is Beyonce's about to be rocked out. We about to allegedly see a whole bunch of satanic imagery. And you know what's going to be the sad thing about it? All of our black women are going to be jacking this. They all going to be following this. She going to drop this rock album. It's going to be very demonic, allegedly. That's just my opinion. And all of the black women, you know, a lot of Latinos, some white, they all going to start following these satanic images, dark imagery, and there ain't no telling what's going to be in the music, you know. But pay attention. Pay attention. Watch what's coming next. These skull and bones ain't for nothing. If you don't believe me now, you'll believe me later. You're going to be like, oh, yo, nigga Choke said that. And you're going to see all these black women. Beyonce could wear doodoo smeared on her face. And you will have women run into the bathroom ready to smear doodoo on their face. Beyonce did it. Beyonce wear doodoo face. We can wear doodoo face and Beyonce wear doodoo face. All right, let's get to 50 Cent. Right? Now, for, I can't remember. I'll say for the last maybe 2 years, possibly. Could be shorter, could be longer. I don't remember. Right? But recently, Tony Yayo has become a guest on Vlad TV. Right? And as soon as he did that, I started yelling to 50. 50, you better get Yayo off of Vlad. Right? I kept warning him. Right? 50, don't, because nobody can talk to Yayo. You know, I love Yayo, that's my homie, but that is the most hard-headed, cutting you off nigga that I met in the industry. Not too many people can have a conversation with Tony Yayo and he's going to listen to you or take constructive criticism for you. This is the most hard-headed nigga that I ever met. This is why you see him and Uncle Murder uh argue so much and cutting each other off so much, because this dude don't respect nobody but 50, and the only reason he respect 50 is because 50 keeps the lights on, right? And 50 know to keep Yayo close because Yayo know too much dirt. 50 will have to kill Yayo before he let him separate from him because he know too much, right? Now, in my opinion, like 50 Cent, I warned you, right? Over and over and over. And the reason I gotta talk to 50 because nobody could talk to Yayo. And only Yayo only listens to 50. And I'm telling 50, yo, get Tony Yayo off of Vlad. This is a setup, bro. They lining you up, and you're not gonna see it until it's too late. And now I think they already on that slippery slope, right? I feel like, in my opinion, Tony Yayo just Vlad himself. Just like Keefy D, just like all these other dudes that get up there and feel like they can talk about criminology, right? Without repercussions, especially on crimes that have never been solved, which are most of the crimes in our community because our people don't cooperate with the law enforcement when things happen. Even civilians think they're a snitch if they cooperate with law enforcement when they're not. Right now, Tony Ayo is about as smart as a dude on the corner most of his life. Right? He lets Vlad talk to him into revealing criminal activity and building a criminal organization right in the interview. Right? Now, follow me on this. Right? Now, when I say that he allows Vlad to talk him into revealing criminal activity and building a criminal organization within his interview, let me explain. Right? So, recently, we all know about the squatters, which is Jim Jones, Fabulous, Mano, and Davies, right? We call them the squatters because uh, 50 Cent was teasing them about uh, getting an eviction notice from Jim Jones' landlord, allegedly saying that he didn't pay the rent, whatever. So, 50 was joking, calling them squatters. So they did a squatters remix and they did a song getting at 50. All of them did a joint getting at 50. And that, you know, coined them the squatters, right? So Mano is a part of the squatters. Mano is kind of the vocal one when it comes to 50 Cent, you know, because Mano feels like, he's about that life. He's not intimidated by 50. He's not scared of 50. He feels like, you know, 50 Cent's been on the losing end of his beefs with people like Jimmy Henchman, so on and so forth, so on and so forth, right? And that's his own opinion. So this has clearly got under Tony Yayo's skin, right? And clearly you could tell Tony Yayo saw Mano's interview because his ego got bruised and he got up there and he's done what I call Vlad himself. Criminally uh what's the word I'm looking for? He incriminated himself in various situations because his ego won't allow him to just shut up because he don't have no reason to prove that he's tough or coochie uh to Mano, but he got to prove himself that he's not coochie to Mano by letting Vlad trick him into revealing, stuff where, you know, there was a criminal element involved, right? So in this more recent interview, this last installment, this is why I was telling 50, yo, get Yayo off of Vlad. Because if you notice, Vlad is always really interviewing 50 vicariously through Tony Yayo. Like he keeps bringing up 50 name, and it's not all about Yayo. It's really about 50, but Yayo don't see it. And just like all these other guys out here that sit here and believe that what Vlad does doesn't help the authorities because they are blinded by the check that he gives them, that people just keep going up there and they keep talking and don't think that they are helping the police solve crimes, right? So, of course, Tony Yayo talented. I mean, talent is limited outside of rapping. What more is he doing? The nigga opened a weed spot. The nigga smoke weed. The first rule in hustling is don't get high off your own supply. So how you open in the store and you're an abuser of a drug? Imagine a crackhead opening a crack spot, a trap house, right? It won't make much sense, right? If you abusing the drug, why would you open that business? But to each his own, right? There's a lot of potheads that want dispensaries and this, that, and the other. Don't make sense to me, right? But to each his own. If you know your product. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, yo, buy that purple haze. Get that purple haze, nigga. Right? Niggas is pie ass opening dispensaries. That's like crackheads opening trap houses. That just my opinion. Why invest in something that you smoke, right? I guess I don't know. I guess weed is different, right? But moving on. Now, Yayo starts creating a criminal organization, in my opinion, when he tells Vlad, because of what Mano said. Mano says, yo, them niggas got spanked, meaning that Jimmy Henchman laid this thing down with G Unit and he came out victorious. I'll just say that, right? Um, it's not like Jimmy Henchman had any repercussions outside of his son getting smacked or beat up. Uh, the way that Mano was breaking it down is G Unit took more losses against 50 than Jimmy took losses from G Unit, but at the end of it, G Unit's still on the street. Jimmy's in jail. You know, he may have kept it more gully in the streets and kept it street and brought that drama to them niggas, but it cost them a life sentence. So that's why Mano said, niggas, you stupid. Like, Jimmy is in jail doing life from having beef with these niggas. These niggas is on the streets doing songs and doing movies. Get out of here. You bugging, right? In my opinion, that's what Mano was saying, basically. But what Yayo did moving forward, right? Now, to hop back to this civil suit real quick, right? That I'm been covering over the last couple of days with 50, with the girl Monique Mayers, with the whole Monster situation, and Monster allegedly supposed to have stole $600,000 cash from 50. Uh, Listening to dudes like Whack 100. Uh, he spoke on that, so I don't know how true that is or not. But even Whack was like, 50 knew to just go ahead and take that loss, this, that, and the other. Like, he ain't want no smoke with Monster. He was just gonna take a $600,000 loss, right? But once again, getting into Yayo being on Vlad, that can eventually bring G Unit down, right? This is the thing that I'm talking about with 50 when I'm telling 50, you don't listen, you both better get Yayo off of goddamn Vlad, because at the end of the day, it's all gonna come back and hurt 50, not Yayo, right? Why? Because 50 is the financier of G Unit. 50 is the head of G Unit. And people don't look at Yayo as the head of G Unit. They just look at him as a general, right? So when he starts off with, man, what you talking about? Look at the niggas that I was with, right? He just put himself in an organization, a group, a gang, a unit, right? However you want to classify it. Then he names all the guys, which was another not smart thing to do, in my opinion, because now you naming these dudes by their street names, and all the police is going to do is go and take all these names of these people that Tony Yayo is meant and just start looking at the crimes that attach to them, whether they're shootings, stabbings, robberies, gang banging, whatever it is, they're going to start matching, looking at all these guys' names, right? And then now Yayo said, yo, these are the guys that I was with, right? Now you making them a part of a crew, an organization, a group, a gang, a unit, right? So Tony Yayo let Vlad bruise his ego with these statements that Mano made. And of course, Tony Yayo saw a Mano interview and already formulated a response in his head before he even did the interview with Vlad, right? So Yayo responds to me, allegedly as a general, and talked about what his soldiers did, because he's not talking about shooting anyone himself or putting any work in himself, but he mentions through his travels, you know what I'm saying? Like, he talk about, oh, I had the two guns on me, or I had the gun with me with the bulletproof, or I did the too much talking. See, Yayo thinking the statute of limitations is up, right? So he could talk about these crimes and talk about these things, not realizing that they could be building a federal RICO against 50 Cent or against Yayo his damn self, right? And would kill all the statute of limitations for the stuff that he's talking about, right? Like him traveling with weapons. Yeah, you could talk about that now. Yeah, because you ain't got the gun on you. But when they start investigating and going down the rabbit hole, and now you start talking about days you had guns on you, and are you thinking about if it was a shooting that day? Did anything happen that day? Or you just talking? Now, just for the record, Yayo talked about all the times he had guns on him, right? Even though the statute of limitations may be up for possession, right? Why are you talking about all the times you had guns on you in New York? In New York, nobody is licensed to carry. And you're damn sure not licensed to carry a gun. You're not security. You're not Gene Squill or one of these dudes. You're not an off-duty cop. So why are you on the internet talking about all the times that you had the gun on you and you was running around with two guns on you, this and that, just to impress your own ego, to let Maine on these niggas know you was running around with guns when none of us are allowed to have guns in New York. And you a goddamn felon, nigga. Your name of your album was Thoughts of a Predicate Felon. Why are you on the internet talking about how many guns you was running around with when you weren't licensed to carry, even though the statute is up? Stupid. This thing is not licensed to carry and is up here talking about how many guns he had on him. And then he goes, start talking about the dudes that was a part of his crew or his gang or his unit or whatever you want to call it. Talking about, he called the little dude Trav. Yeah, that nigga Trav, he was with me. That was my nigga. He was with me. Trav was a dumb out. Now, I don't know if Trav ever did anything, right? But for Yayo to go and say Trav was with me, he was under me, and he was a dumb out. A dumb out is a nigga that don't got knowledge of self. A dumb out is a dude that will let off a gun at the drop of a dime if you tell him to. He's not worried about life. He's not worried about his mother. He's not worried about his father, his sister, his brother, even if he got children. A dumb out is a dumb nigga that will do anything that a nigga tell him to do, either for some money or for some clout. So then when Yayo go, man, Trav was with me. He was a dumb out. That's another word for a throwaway nigga. These are the niggas that run around that got 100 niggas around them. They got 100 dudes around them because all these dudes are disposable to protect the king, right? They life don't mean spit to them, right? To the people that keep them around, they keep them around for them. If it's a problem, nigga, you go to jail or you die. You frontline. By the time 50's back here, all these niggas is up front, in front of them, right? Yayo is the one in front of 50. And Yayo, before he get his hands dirty, he got all the dumb out niggas in front of him. Why they want to dumb out for Yayo? Because Yayo's connected to 50 and 50's connected to the money. So we use Yayo. 50 use Yayo as his protection, and Yayo goes and get all the dumb out niggas or the throwaway niggas to stand in front of him. So if whoever they got beef with, y'all got to get through all these dumb out niggas who gonna crash out for us, who gonna go to jail for us, who gonna die for us, because we gonna give these niggas a few dollars, right? Before you get to Yayo. By the time you get to Yayo, like, everybody else is already in jail. So by the time you get to Yayo, you get to 50-50, you'll be safe. So Yayo sitting there talking about he got a bunch of throwaway niggas. Yayo's a throwaway nigga too, but by the time he get thrown away, it's so much trash gone already. You know what I'm saying? That bag might not be able to fit into the garbage truck, right? Just like Uncle Murder, no disrespect to Murder, that's my nigga, but he was a throwaway nigga in the Ja Rule situation on the plane. Yayo wasn't going to do nothing. You see, Uncle Murder was the one that was up, ready to do something. He was the one that was going to jump out the window. Yayo just sat back. Let Uncle Murder go to jail. Uncle Murder's a dumb out. That's how Yayo would look at Uncle Murder. Oh, nigga, you a dumb out. You not here to put out music. You ain't put out a project on G Unit since you've been here, Murder. You are a dumb out. You are there to be a hype man / security. Just like Yayo. Uncle Murder may not, either he might know it. I don't know. He might accepted his role. He don't know. Maybe he don't know what his role is. But to me, his role is like Yayo called Trav a dumb out. Y'all not there to put out music. Y'all niggas is there to protect 50. And if anything business come out of it, you're smart. You know, this is than being like all these other niggas that stood around for years and ain't getting nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? At least Murder got his name on a dispensary. So to incriminate Yayo himself even more. So when Yayo tells Vlad, when you look at my crew, Now you just made all these niggas your crew. See, Yayo ain't thinking, right? He don't know that allegedly something's coming down the pipeline, right? So now they asking about these murders, like Israel Ramirez and the deposition, right? So when Yayo tells Vlad, yo, when you look at my crew, and then he start naming all these different crews and, from Far Rockaway to, this dude, this little Scar, and no, he started naming all these guns. The police is just sitting there. Oh, okay. So he was down with G Unit. 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 Now they start looking up at all these different crimes. Now Yayo done been on Vlad for the last 2 years, telling and talking about these crimes, not realizing that there's a buildup, right? You done told all these other stories, but you don't know why Vlad is asking you these questions. You think he's your friend. As KVD thought he was his friend too, but not knowing that Vlad is getting these questions from Reggie Wright Jr. Just like the murder crap dudes are getting these questions from Reggie Wright Jr. to ask Neckbone, right? Yayo up here just letting goddamn Vlad ask him all these questions, thinking that these are nothing but baseless hip hop questions, not realizing that this girl Monique Mayers is sitting down having interviews with the FBI. So you don't know, Yayo don't know where these goddamn questions is coming from. But now, here we are, back to Israel Ramirez murder. So when Yayo, you're sitting there, you talking about, yo, look at my crew. You just made them your crew. You built an organization right there in the Vlad interview. And under that umbrella, all these niggas you naming is nothing but drugs, violence, and murder. And the way that Yayo is breaking it down to the audience, to us, you don't think the police is sitting there watching? Nigga, Trav come from me. Trav come from me. Oh, really? Okay, Yayo. So Trav comes from you and he's a dumb out. Let's see how many crimes Trav committed. Go ahead, Yayo. Build this goddamn G Unit Rico. Stupid nigga. Trav come from me. You know, the one that's hanging out with Jim Jones, he was a dumb out. And he put in pain. Oh my God. Trav, wherever you at, brother. If you dirty right now, nigga, you better be clean. Because this nigga just sat there and called you a dumb out on Vlad TV, the police network. And if you think them niggas ain't gonna be on your ass in the next goddamn 48 hours for the next 2 years, you got a problem, Trav. Because your man is not smart. Then the dumbest thing that Tony Yayo could have said is, I don't want to put niggas' business out there, but niggas was spanking these dudes too. I don't want to put these niggas' business out there, but they was spanking things too. Niggas, you stupid. You let Mano mess with your ego that bad that your ass will get up there and say that your niggas was spanking things too. Now, Mano explained to Vlad what spanking means. You using the word spanking make it very clear that that's a reference to Mano, because Mano used the word spank. Man, my niggas was spanking things too. Oh, nigga, you idiot. So if the police come pick you up right now, Yayo, and ask you, you said your man's your crew was spanking things too. Well, what did your crew spank? Because we know what spank mean in the street. Then he goes on to say, yeah, man, because I had a team. Oh, nigga. Are you retarded? Yeah, man, because I had a team. Now you just built your own criminal enterprise. Yeah, man, the nigga Sticko with the big scar on his face. My brother, I had wild niggas around. Niggas was getting busy. Nigga Monster, Trav, Sticko, Little B. Nigga Maserati Fox, he pulled out the hammer in Apollo. Are you stupid? Nigga Maserati Fox pulled out the gun. Yayo, what are you doing? You trying to get props off of the work other niggas put in? You not talking about yourself, bro. You throwing other niggas under the bus. Whether they dead or alive. Whether you think the statute of limitations is up or not. And then you know what's going to happen, Yayo? You're going to get your man 50 locked up. Why? Because they're going to say like 50 is the boss. And you're the underboss. And you keep going on, Vlad, and you keep running your goddamn mouth. For a few $1,000s, nigga, you ain't getting Boosie money. You better off making the money you making with 50 and chill. Now you done let Mano get you to get in your emotions and get up there and talking about y'all niggas was spanking stuff too, this, that, and the. Nigga, don't you know it's niggas that know about y'all niggas dirt? You gonna get some of these niggas picked up, questioned, and start telling. These niggas is giving niggas $90,000 to snitch these days. That nigga Mano got under your skin so bad that you went right on Vlad and created your own criminal organization. And named these niggas and said that they did illegal shit. I ain't say they did illegal shit. Spanking. They was spanking things too. You're not listening to yourself talk. You're going to ruin your whole dude's empire. You're gonna ruin 50. 50's gonna go to jail because of your ass and Vlad TV. And then Vlad's gonna say, don't blame me that Yayo got indicted. Yayo's my friend. Everybody's Vlad's friend until they not Vlad's friend. Remember Aries Spears was his friend? Now he's not his friend. He's throwing him under the bus. He talked bad about Boosie, threw Boosie under the bus. He talked about Godfrey. Godfrey was his friend. Turned around, threw him under the bus. Threw Lord Jamal under the bus. That was his friend too. Turned around and ished on my son, who was his friend too. Yay, are you stupid? You really think Vlad is your friend? Yeah, Little Dirk too. Got every nigga in Chicago doing the interview, giving up information on Dirk case before Dirk trial even start. And y'all still go up on this nigga platform while he's interviewing and talking about, oh, I don't talk about open cases. Nigga, you're a liar. You're a liar. Lil Durk case is open and you in interviewing, interrogating all kind of niggas to make it worse for him. Stop it. Yeah, yo, you don't listen to nobody but 50. Keep going on Vlad, my nigga. And you think I'm hating on you. Nigga, I've been pulling your coat from day one. When niggas start getting arrested, knock on wood for you. When niggas start getting arrested and then indicted, remember your ass on Vlad fucking connecting the dots. Vlad ain't the police. That's your man. Watch what happened, yeah, yo. And I'm knocking on wood. I knock on this little wooden spoon for you. Because I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. I still love you, my nigga. But you are a goofy when it comes to Vlad. You are a stone cold goofy. You got up there and told on your goddamn self. And nigga, if you're not paying attention to Monique's case and these questions that's being asked, ask yourself, yayo, why did they ask her about Swiss Beats and she wasn't even there? Why would that come up into a deposition? You ever thought about that? All money ain't good money, brother. And I think you realize that a little bit too late. Shout out to all my peoples in St. Kitts and Nevis, the West Indies, Choke No Joke, y'all already know. I'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m.-ish. You know what I mean? Keep it locked, all right? Shout out to all my new subscribers. I appreciate y'all. I got super love for y'all. Please hit that subscribe button before you go. Shout out to MC Hammer. Just subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you, Hammer. That's my guy. Yeah, the real MC Hammer. Just subscribe to my channel, y'all. All right, keeping it real with Dr. Little, Lily M. Coley. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. I'm just looking at a few of these new subscribers. All right, Antonio Greer, DBD, the Dada Man, King, thanks for subscribing. Nicole Rice, thanks for subscribing. Child Bosch, thanks for subscribing. Big Slim, the producer. Capelio, Ray McCray, Nicholas Ware, Morgan Kids. Shout out to all y'all for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate y'all, my membership gang. One love to y'all. Choke No Joke, I will be back tomorrow morning. You know what it is, 10 a.m. I drop my first video every day. You know how I do, all right? Choke No Joke, I love y'all. Thanks for the support. Learn from Mistakes 3, coming out soon. Here's the first single off of it, Truth Be Told. We passed nailing. You already know. Choke No Joke, I love y'all. Let's go.
I do it. This is a diss, would be specific. Hit you with a sub, you blacklisted. Her third tour, it's ridiculous. You in the crowd, babysitting. Mad at pics, fans flicking. You got a Billy, they dick licking. Kids, your son and dad missing. You duck in the swab, results prison. I see your faces, the mad prism. Y'all rats, are you kidding? And if you sign, you have no wisdom. Integrity missing, money mission. Lamar Latrells in your system. Camel licking, nerves switching. Are y'all kidding? Y'all Virginian. Success, y'all dream sex. Sold a lot of units, but still checks. Squares, Nike, I run with checks. People use Marcy as pets. I move his skin, you on your head. All your tunes are dead. You ugly like your dreads. No bag, I'm on your head. No fag, I'm my shooter. You the glad Duke shooter. You do balls but no hooters. Choke No Joke, I am the future with no Malloy. You play with boys, be out here wishing she was a boy. You her decoy, you nigga a bitch. Choke no joke, I am the shit. Yo, Kim, get off my dick. Mad Jim, king of the dips. Without Jewels, you have no hits. Your last hit was True Life. When he caught you with that right. Yo, Big Joe, am I right? Nigga Dame saved your life. And then you crossed him for home. Got on stage with Ho. You an actor, you ain't Poe. Joke no joke. You already know. Yo, man, I'm done, man. Choke no joke, yeah. It's choke no joke. Let's go. Choke no joke, chicken choke no joke. Choke no joke, niggas choke no joke.
What up, y'all? It's Arthur D. Austin, better known as Choke No Joke. We out here at the legendary Tunnel nightclub, or at least where it used to be. Everybody asks me what's the Tunnel. The Tunnel was a nightclub that was owned in the 90s here by Peter Gation. In 94, Stress Entertainment started a party called Mecca. In 96, Franchise Entertainment took it over and they had it until it closed. All the biggest names in hip hop perform here, from Jay-Z, Meth and Red, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Nas, Puff Daddy and the Family, Eve, you name it, they was all here. If you had heart, you came here. But everybody didn't have heart. So it's time for y'all to enter the club most people feared to enter, the Tunnel.
The Tunnel wasn't a unique hip-hop club, and its foundations were based on the concept of bringing hip-hop from all the boroughs to one location. And it was the brainchild of Peter Gation. My name is Sterling Cox. I was the head of security.
Alpha Grinion, Brooklyn, New York.
My name is V.
House.
Sincere from Brooklyn.
Glenn Beck. Jumping Lee, whatever Lee you want to call me.
Omega.
Ray Mack.
Diamond.
Craig.
Candy.
Big Box. Big Country.
Ramona Diaz.
Big Penna. Big CB. John Bass Raleigh.
Sean Brophy, sound engineer.
DJ Johnny Walker Red.
MC Frank Jigger, the celebrity's choice.
Choke No Joke, legendary videographer.
Supreme Bigger Figure, Big Cap, The Warden.
Big G, AKA the ringleader.
The Tunnel was a hip-hop nucleus.
It was the epicenter.
It was the domain, the temple.
It was the Mecca.
It was like the hip-hop Woodstock.
Nothing was that melting pot of hip-hop.
They kept the paradigm going.
It's almost like what Rucker did for like street basketball. The Tunnel was that of music industry.
Hip-hop had a heart. That shit was one of the main arteries.
It was actually a Mecca. That's what the original name of the party was, Mecca.
It was like a time machine. That's how the Tunnel was. You came out a whole different individual.
We went in there, young men with attitudes, and came out there wiser men with our lives.
It was definitely a starting, beginning spot for artists to come and mingle and branch out and get your record heard and get your shit together, really, to go into the next phase of your career.
The Tunnel was not open or did not open. A lot of new artists, or a lot of artists that we know now, to this very day, will have never been known.
All these artists out today need to be happy that the Tunnel was fucking open. Nobody would hear none of y'all singing tight pants niggas right now. The Tunnel was a platform for niggas like Jay and Puff, Woo and Mob and DMX and Rough Riders. Niggas don't respect these niggas today, man. You need to realize, man, without them niggas, man, and their platform, it made a lot of moves for niggas today.
It happened there, it made it relevant.
Became a pillar of hip hop.
The Tunnel is the nucleus of hip hop. And I'll say all the way down south, because when the Tunnel was open, wasn't too much going on down that motherfucker. Y'all can say what y'all want, east of the south, but New York made the shit pop. New York was where it's at. The tunnel in New York is where you needed to be to pop.
The tunnel was definitely a hip-hop nucleus, yo. It was just like the galaxy, it bring other planets in. You have people from France, Germany, London, everywhere. If they came to New York, they had to go to the tunnel.
Hi, Premier. I come here to meet you, and I'm going to all the place. I'm going to the Bronx, to Sedgwick Avenue, with Cool Hook, do the party, and Cedar, and then I'm going to the tunnel.
It was our barometer for, how we were really gauging records, and we were really, studying the behavior of the consumer.
Saying it ain't just like how they do it now. You could just throw a record out and, wait 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever for the shit to bubble. Niggas was putting them records on to see if them shits get that reaction. And if the shit was popping, niggas would fast track it. If it wasn't, niggas would go back to the drawing board.
Absolutely. It's the definition of hip-hop nucleus. Everything was there.
Everything that surrounded hip-hop, from fashion to music, hairstyles.
Like, it encompassed every part of the hip-hop experience, and they put it all in one building on a Sunday night.
If you go as far back to little hole in the walls and little, centers where people start elaborating, playing the sounds and displaying the culture, to within later on you have places that was up in Harlem, like Harlem World, or up in the Bronx called T Connection, just using them as an example, of many other places all throughout the city. And then years later, here come places like Union Square and Latin Quarters. The last of the Mohegans of for real hip hop had became the tunnel.
Tunnel was definitely a hip hop nucleus. It really was. And you gotta say, believe it or not, the wagon master was a one-eyed white guy from Canada, Peter Gation.
Nothing will ever be like the tunnel.
Choke, no joke. Yeah. It's choke, no joke. Let's go. Choke, no joke. Chicken choke, no joke. Choke.